think it's just us today.
Okay, we are live. Is it just us?
I think so.
That's fine. The game must be restarted. Oh, okay. They already had another update? Damn.
I thought today we would make that decision to switch to a different server, but because no one else is here or on board, we can't really make that decision with just us unless we ditch them.
Well, guess not then. Oh, the new Life is Strange is available.
What's that?
It's like a pretty big like queer game.
Oh.
Or a series, I should say. It's like a narrative. I think it's narrative. I haven't played the original. What did you say?
Is it on Steam?
Yes. They just I saw it on the announcement for like Steam when I opened up Steam.
You know what's funny?
What?
I was watching back your last stream with Once Human.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I hiccup so much now because I'm like
You're
borderline
good.
nauseous all the time. Anyways, you recommended Silent Hill to play that.
Yes, and I also sent you a reel on Instagram.
Oh, I didn't check.
But sorry, continue your story. What were you saying?
Okay. So I looked at the gameplay. Honestly, It reminds me of this one game a little too much where there's a police officer and a girl and shit. Is Silent Hill a part of a series with
So it was a movie. It is. There's two games. The original Silent Hill 2 was like released like many years ago. I think early 2000s or something.
And then they did a remake.
And then they did a remake, exactly.
What is that game that's kind of scary with that? I think Raccoon City is a thing in that game. That's what I've heard.
Isn't Raccoon City Resident Evil?
Yeah. Okay. It reminds me of Resident Evil, like a little.
Yeah, I mean they were released around similar times. So that tracks.
Okay. I don't know if I like Resident Evil or that type of atmosphere, but it made me think about the atmospheres I did really enjoy when it comes to horror, and it reminded me of Amnesia. So I played Amnesia: The Dark Descent. I played the Justine version. I played a DLC version.
Yeah.
Something with a lake in it, and that was devastatingly scary. But I found out they have like The Bunker, which is a newer like 2023 release, and I think I want to play that now. Like I looked up the videos. I'm kind of excited. It's so scary. Like I haven't played a game that scary in a long time.
You said you're gonna look up the Amnesia one?
Yeah, Amnesia: The Bunker, and I think I'm gonna play that one.
Okay.
So, the scary games, air quotes, that I've been playing lately are like Lethal Company or the ones where you get
more
a job.
Goofy. Yeah.
You have a job and you do something like Phasmophobia or
you get a job. That's what's scary, is getting a job.
Yeah. And I don't find Phasmophobia scary because when you distract yourself with a job and you don't immerse yourself in a story, it's very different. So I'm kind of excited to find something actually scary.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense.
And jump scare games where it's just that one or two or three jump scares and then everything else feels mostly safe isn't the vibe I want. I want to be completely immersed in a place where I can die any moment.
Okay, that kind of answers my question. My question was going to be like, what kind of horror do you like? Do you like psychological, or do you like more like physical manifestations where you're like fighting for your life?
So puzzle ones mixed with Amnesia perfectly explains. If you've ever played one of them, it's just the surrounding. I like games where you can like pull out drawers and it feels kind of like it's not you click it and the drawer shoots out. You have to grab it and open it, you know?
Right. Like you're basically immersed in the environment by the actions and the
Yeah.
mechanics of the game. Makes sense. I think some of the Resident Evil games are like that. Am I not mistaken? I
Um,
I haven't played any of the Resident Evil games, so I'm not really too
I
sure.
don't know why, but I just didn't like the ones that I played.
Which ones did you play?
I can't even remember those. God.
I forget how to. There's a way
Oh,
to.
the older Resident Evil ones I love.
Huh.
The newer ones not so much. So like, there was an old one. I played these when I was a kid, or I mostly watched because I was too scared when I was a kid. But I was immersed regardless, watching over my sister's shoulder or something.
No, spoiled food. Rip. Um, like I know the Resident Evil games are good. At least like Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil Village has gotten a good rap as well. So like that kind of sounds similar to what you're describing that you want to experience. Uh, when it comes to Resident Evil, I will say like you have to be very careful about how you navigate and utilize the resources that you
Oh,
have.
right. I remember never having enough ammo.
Exactly. You are limited on the amount of ammo, and that is intentional to add to the, you know, scariness of
Oh,
the
in
situation.
Amnesia, you don't get a weapon, in which makes you so. I don't know. It's such a weird feeling not being able to defend yourself. I'm used to like the ones where you can, like the first-person shooter type horror games. It's been a while since I've actually found a good one,
Mm-hmm.
like Left 4 Dead or whatever, you know. But in the bunker, you can have guns now, which I don't know how that's gonna operate, but it makes me feel safer.
Where'd you move your place to? Is it? Oh, it's down
It's just
below.
disappeared.
Yeah, mine too. I had to rebuild it.
I think you could just place it.
Well, yeah, I just had to place it down. That's what I meant. I don't see you, even though it says you're in. Oh, wait, are we?
You're above, really high.
Are you underneath, like in the?
I'm trying to climb up. There's no
Really?
way.
You could just teleport to my. Oh, I see you. I see you. Look up.
Hey, I see you.
You do? You're. Oh, okay. Now you turned around. You were facing the opposite direction for a second.
This game is so pretty, like the scenery right now.
Yeah.
Wow, my scope can see so far.
I'm crafting some ammo right now so that we can go do something, I guess.
Oh, I have a lot of ammo. I actually stole a lot of materials from Trong's place.
You didn't.
I did, and then he was right behind me the whole time.
And he's like, all right, you can do that, I guess.
I mean, he offered it originally, but I feel like I did a little too much.
That's funny. I forget, did I get Oh, yes, I did get all the gear. Cool. Remember last time you were like, you got no shoes. And I was like, you're right, I do have no shoes.
Um,
Make some more arrows too. What should we go do? Should we do a quest maybe?
I don't know. Okay, well, I guess we should do the main story quest, but we've kind of out-leveled that a bit. So the murmurs in the forest.
Yeah, that's what I have tracked right now. We could do that. Is that the main story quest or no?
I think it is. I also got a car that I could just drive.
You can drive both of us?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll come down to you.
Ooh, pretty.
I'm on my way.
Ooh, I need to eat. Bam. Oh, my sanity is low too. It's like, I noticed in this playthrough, sanity is just burning. Which means our gear is... Wait, my vehicle's not...
Do you have a syringe in your hand? What is that?
Probably.
That looks like a syringe. Holy shit.
This car is... Because I drive a little crazy.
Oh, by the way... Huh?
Should I repair this? Okay, no. Okay, you were saying?
I was just gonna say, speaking of syringes, I had to start doing like the intermuscular injections again myself.
How did you get that?
How did I get it before? Like,
I mean, like the dosage.
how did I get the dosage?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I worked with my doctor prior.
Oh, okay. A different.
I worked with Kaiser, but now I'm going through Planned Parenthood, and I went in and oh my god,
Why did I jump out?
I don't know. I thought you saw something. I was like, I'm here with you. Let's go.
I knew I was gonna run into the wall, and then I fucking jumped out.
Wait, I can't get in.
There.
There we go.
Okay, it was this radio station's been bothering me. Hold on.
But anyways, so I went to Planned Parenthood. It was an interesting experience. Like they like were pretty patient, I would say, and like they gave me a lot of time, which also meant like wait times are kind of horrendous, but they were, you know, very thorough and willing to like, you know, talk to me the entire time, which was nice, and like make sure that I had full understanding and all my questions were answered. So like that part was really cool. I think they're definitely understaffed for the care that they provide though. But
they offer such a wide range of things.
They do, yeah.
Which is probably why they're understaffed.
Exactly. But
I mean,
yeah.
I was considering it too, because like
You should.
Kaiser's too big. I don't want to go there for
they offer they offer stuff for
yeah, we could say it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm avoiding it.
For the pregnancy.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Exposed in 4K.
And it just would be like easier to go to a small clinic and whatnot to do that than it would be to just go to a big hospital and then find the floor and then do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And also I'm still having the issue where it says my insurance has been terminated.
Oh, so I actually ended up getting billed
Uh-oh.
through
What?
Kaiser. Yeah, so the lab work that I did, they ended up billing me.
Okay, well, I haven't gotten notifications of a bill, so I'm kind of glad that right now it seems
You can
free.
you can go in and check.
Oh
You can go in and check on your billing and see if
no,
there's
my billing. So I got an invoice through email. When I went to click it, it said $0. But then when I went into the billing section, it said you can't access this.
oh, weird. Okay. Well,
If they want to get paid, well,
you may get mailed something
that's
where
fine. They can mail it, but they gotta fix it. I like this area.
yeah, it's cool. I like the flowers. The trees are very floral.
Wow. I started journaling again,
Did
and it
you?
feels pretty good.
What do
Like,
you
I think my reason for journaling is a lot better than before, and I know why I'm doing it, so it's a lot easier. And I don't have that weird feeling where before, and kind of like almost always, I get a feeling that when I journal, it's kind of childish. Like, I just feel kind of dumb. And I worry about someone eventually reading it. So now I'm like not allowing those thoughts to happen when I journal. So it just feels better.
Yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, it's supposed to be for you, right? So,
Yeah.
um, did you know that your dress is, like, sticking out the bottom of the car underneath? I just see, like, the tail end of your dress, like,
Yeah, I see it now.
I was gonna ask, like, so what do you use to journal with? Are you doing it online, or are you doing it, like, physically with, like, traditional
Just
pen and
physically,
paper?
I think it's better that way for me because I'm trying to get out of that like online mental clutter.
Yeah, I get that. Oh my God. What did you just do?
I blew this guy up.
Clearly, what did you hit him with?
There was a flammable thing next to him.
Oh, I see.
I have an op, so I'm like one-shotting these guys.
Yeah,
Oh, but
I see
also
that.
I'm 20 levels higher than them.
Wait, what level are you?
30? What level are you?
You're 30? Wait, how do I see our levels? I forget. What is it? Y? F1?
I?
I?
So I see myself.
No, that's not it. It's like
Oh yeah, top left. If you press I, you can. I'm level 36.
I'm 12.
What the heck? Okay, so this is your zone.
Yes. So I am in the range for the level.
In order to get this dress, I need
You
to
need
power
what?
through. Yeah, I spent like a lot of time trying to level fast so that I could get in this cosmetic dress.
Didn't you get it last season though?
No, I got it this season
Oh.
before I got, and then I disappeared.
You keep like cutting out on my end.
Oh, hold on. Let me change Discord. Because when Rob's home, I have to like increase the bar so that his voice doesn't show up. He's lying.
Oh my God.
It's crazy how out leveled I am for this place, yet my sanity's still dropping.
Yeah. Wasn't sanity just based on equipment though?
It is, but my equipment's matching my level, so I don't understand how that's the case.
Hmm. I don't know.
Um,
That's weird.
hmm.
So what are you journaling? Like Like
Well, I
what?
feel like it's really good to journal how I'm feeling during this pregnancy. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of my ego and who I am and what I've liked and my even the foods I've liked, I can't enjoy anymore. So I feel like I'm gonna lose my sense of self, which I hear everyone does anyways when they're a mom. Like the old you is no longer gonna ever go back to the way it was. It's just you but different because now you're a mom with a kid and it's just the dynamic is gonna forever change.
Yeah. I mean, in good ways. I think like it's like
Trade-offs. Because
yeah.
I would one thing I enjoy the most is complete peace and quiet in my home. That's not
Mm.
happening again. Um okay, spooky. And then also I kind of lived so these last 3 years, Rob's kind of given me the most perfect environment to just live selfishly and think about myself and my growth because he's I don't know, it just felt good. And I felt like the last decade of my life prior, I was always taking care of other people and putting other people first. So the being able to enjoy myself
You definitely did that
and
for sure.
spoil myself
Yeah.
has been really nice and therapeutic and rewarding. And I just enjoyed that life. Like I actually wanted to plan children in 2 more years so that I can continue to do that and then travel and do other things. But
Hmm.
this came accidentally. And I'm ready for it, but I feel like I have to step up in ways where it almost brings me back to living the way I did before for other people,
Yeah.
which is true and is going to be the case, which is also fine. But I'm telling Rob now that this is not going to change. I'm not going to lose myself for a kid. I'm still going to do what I want. I'm not going to, like, our birthdays. So the baby might be born 2 days before my birthday. And I said I want it to be born on my birthday so that when we get spoiled, we're spoiled together. Because now it's almost like Rob, he thinks, which he's not like that toxic male where it's like, the, but it's just, I think everyone feels like if there's two birthdays, you have to sacrifice yours to make sure your kid has their birthday, but it doesn't make sense to have two extravagant birthdays back to back within the same week. But if she's getting, I want it to be a girl. If she's getting a cake
Oh my
on her
god.
birthday,
Everything's being revealed today.
no.
All the secrets
It's
are
not a
out.
girl. I don't know if it's a girl or not, but I want it to be a girl. So we're gonna
Yeah, yeah, I know, I
put
know.
that in the
But I
universe.
did ask you before. I was like, is it gonna be a like? Do you want it to be a girl
Okay,
or
I've
a
made my
guy?
mind.
And
I
and I was like, I would want a girl. And then like when I originally asked you, you were like, I want a guy or a
I said
boy.
I wanted a boy, but
Yeah.
then Rob wants to name it Robert, so I want a girl
You changed your mind. I see. Suki, yes, you can be listening to this. I am streaming it to the world. So, also, if you, I see you. Okay, I'll bring you in right now. I got you.
now.
She'll be called Berta.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't
that's
avoid
the
it.
joke. But here's the thing. I I don't want so my sister doesn't want me to name my kid or okay, she hasn't said anything about it, but she's kind of like advised other like just look at other names first. So I want to name my kid Aiden if it's a boy.
I
Her
like
kid,
Aiden.
I like Aiden too.
Yeah.
Her kid is named Adrian. Her second kid is named or first one's Damien, second one's Adrian. So by naming my kid Aiden, it's a bit too close. And I know Adrian, this might be fucked up, is her favorite child. The other kid will never find the stream. Oh my god.
I
I'll link
hope.
it to them.
Oh my god.
I know one of their YouTube accounts.
The one that you shouldn't send this to. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But anyways,
Oh, that poor kid.
I mean she's always babied him the most when he was younger. I don't know if that's the case now, which I doubt it, but who knows? So I think for me to have a name similar to his name bothers her a little bit. How do we do this? Oh, we have to burn it.
Yeah, burn it. I don't have a. Oh wait,
Fire.
I do. I do.
I do. I'll let you do the honors.
I remember what happened last time.
Yeah, when she was burning and didn't care.
Oh my god!
Did you?
I'm on fire!
Wait, you still
So
caught
you
on
can,
fire?
You can die from heat if you're too close to the fire.
Oh, I see. I see. So realistic.
Because the temperature thing, right?
Right, right. We got the lag, you know, makes everything not realistic. So I forget there's some realism.
Speaking, did you do the Murmurs of the Forest quest?
Yeah. I did.
Okay. We still need the mystical crate, wherever that is. Could be
There's also something down here we didn't do.
Wait, it was the part where you walk down, right? So like,
oh, right,
Into
down
the-
there. Okay. Oh, this guy's beefy. We gotta kill him again? I think I'm gonna name him Aiden anyways because it's just a name I've had for a while.
What about
And
for a
it-
girl?
Oh, down here, down here.
Yeah, that's her. I
Her
was
name's
talking
gonna
about.
be Melody.
Oh, that's cute. I like Melody.
I knew it, Melody. Wait, how are you gonna spell it? The
Just
one I
the right way. I don't know.
Damn.
the one I knew was like, it wasn't DY, it was DIE.
DIE.
Yeah.
No, I don't want Dye in her name.
Yeah, that's weird. Melody.
So her name's gonna be Melody Rose Zero. Oh!
What?
I'm gonna
That's not
dox
your real last
myself.
name.
No, it doesn't matter.
I don't know if you're
Wait,
going
how-
to, because you already
Oh, wait.
did.
I
Wait,
didn't
so
say the
Rose
full
gonna
name.
be in the middle?
Yeah. Middle
okay.
name.
Right.
Which gives her the option, you know how like some people are like, just call me Rose.
Who says that?
I don't know. I would if I had a middle name Rose.
Fair enough.
My middle name. If
still
my
don't
middle
know.
name was cooler, I would. Yeah, say the same.
Still don't see the red mystical crate.
Is it in this area?
Actually,
Is it
I don't
outside?
know. It could be outside.
Like on a roof.
Oh, it was on top of the building. Remember where you have
Okay.
like flyovers?
Okay.
At? Yeah. All right, it's been a bit. Memories are flowing back.
How do I get up there?
It was a big building.
I see it.
It's not at the top. Just like you follow the road, you'll
Yeah.
get to it.
I see stuff up there though.
What was I saying before though? Oh,
You were talking about
longer than
journaling
boxing
and then
yourself.
like And
when
then,
I
like-
brought up the fact that it was a girl. Oh, yeah. So I'm not sacrificing my birthday. I feel like if I start to cut, like, cut things like my own birthday,
yeah.
you're definitely losing yourself even further.
Yeah,
If
for sure.
She gets a cake 2 days before me. I still get a cake.
Of course.
And we're still gonna
Yeah.
celebrate it in an extravagant
Yeah,
way.
yeah, that's a different day. I just felt like on the same day. Like,
But
I-
a
I-
lot of
I know.
people just don't do that. They're like, "Oh, we gotta group them together." But
Well, I think it's more so just like when you have a child, like you get more tired and exhausted with making sure that you know the experience that they have is
you
good.
start going the wrong way. You want to be
Oh.
up here.
We are
Yeah.
that you put less
do we get
effort
up
into
there, though?
yourself.
Go back through. Oh.
through,
Yeah, go up the mountain.
yeah. So I'm gonna put the same amount of effort into myself as before.
It's up here, by the way. You can see the thing.
And I feel like that's something that doesn't, like, it's our generation to do something like that. It's like the boomer generation to feel like you have to sacrifice something.
Is it
And
over
not-
here?
So how did you get up there? Because like we go in and
Just-
then go somewhere else.
Just go in and through the cave. I think you want like the wrong entrance or exit.
Like, was it at the very end, probably?
Yeah, go to the other side.
I didn't even realize there was multiple exits.
Well, it's a one way.
It looks so.
You just turn around and went back out to the
The
beginning.
way we came from?
Yeah.
It all looks the same. Anyways, I mean, I think that it's a good aspiration to have to try and make sure that you have individuality
Yeah.
and
But I wouldn't
fulfillment.
mind if our birthdays were the same day so that we could do that same thing, like have an extravagant birthday, because I wouldn't do an over-the-top birthday for just myself. But if it's for both of us, I would definitely would.
Yeah.
And it's easier to justify that.
Yeah, like
So
making
I-
one big day for a birthday.
Yeah. But if we did it, like, because our birthdays are not on the same day, and then we chose the weekend after the both of our birthdays, it just doesn't feel right, because we'll celebrate hers, because I think for kids it's so important to make sure it happens the day of their birthdays. So they don't they're so
Yeah.
excited all day, you know?
Of course. but I will say, like, I think like that'll be nice at first, but I think there will be a point where, like,
It
if you had the same
fine.
birthday that your child would want.
Their own individual birthday.
Yeah.
I feel like they would connect it with like, oh, our birthdays are together. Like it might actually be like a warm bond between us.
It's our day.
Yeah, and we get to do whatever we want.
Yeah, definitely later in life. I don't know about when they're a teen though, you know.
Right.
Oh, true.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see my ping? It's up there.
Cuz like part of
I
like
see the red
being
light.
part of being a teen is like you know, like you're finding your own sense of individuality outside of what you've been, you know, taught and
Yeah,
experienced.
I guess if our birthdays, well, it doesn't matter if our birthdays align the same or not. We're still gonna celebrate as if it's special for each one of us.
Yeah.
Like if she wants to do her own thing, whatever. I guess maybe it could complicate things more in the future to have it on the same day.
I would say just, you know, let whatever comes natural in terms of like, you know, going into labor and everything, like just let it be how it is, and then you'll just work around.
Accordingly.
Yeah.
Ooh, a rainbow. There's double rainbow. Oh my god.
Double rainbow. Oh, wait, oh my
All the
god.
way. Oh wow. I never noticed that.
Ah, I can't even make it. So, like immediately after I, give birth, I have like, I feel like journaling too kind of like helps me set goals.
Yeah.
Whereas putting notes down and like scheduling stuff the ordinary way doesn't feel as special. Like I have a list of things I want to do after I give birth, which are all based on like how to improve recovery and like treat myself. Like I used to get a lot of massages, whatever, things like that.
Yeah.
Things that I probably
you
won't
doing
be
up
able to
there?
do for 9 months.
I was waiting for you to.
I don't know how to get up there. Okay.
Did you find the mystical crate?
It's right there.
I broke
Oh.
my legs.
Wait, how did you get up there?
Going up here won't help you get up on the rooftop. I just flew over here.
Maybe it's
You flew over?
Yeah,
So-
last time we used that tower. Flyover, but you can also go up to the teleportation tower if you want as well.
Yeah. I think at one point we used a vehicle to do it in the past.
So just jumping off of that roof won't be enough. You need to like jump on top of a vehicle and then jump off
Or you get
that
spring
roof.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna
I'm
one's-
gonna
go
go
to
get
the
the
tower.
teleportation because I need it
Same.
anyways.
So your goal is to like, you know, do specific things for yourself. Is there anything else that like you've set goal wise? Oh my God, bye bye.
Goal wise,
Yeah, like have you set any
oh,
goals for
so
the two of you?
one thing oh, for the two of us with Rob.
Or I guess the three of you?
Well, nothing quite yet. I did. Oh God, am I gonna make it? I think I will.
It looks like you are.
I don't know. I don't really have goals that include him immediately. We're both doing a lot of research about how to develop a child socially, mentally, physically, and yeah, it's like a lot of fun to talk about it together. We're both very excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think individually, a lot of my notes, I feel like, are just expressing how I'm feeling and the emotions I have and processing as I go because a lot is changing and I'm experiencing a lot of shit daily that just is uncomfortable, like the nausea and whatever. Also, I can't eat spicy food anymore.
What?
No,
I know it's horrible.
that's
I
the
can't have
worst news
sushi.
I've
I
heard
can't
all
have
day.
coffee. I can't eat spicy
No.
foods. I bought those
You're
Mexican
dead.
candies with the tahini on it, and I waited like 3 weeks for this.
Yeah.
I get them, immediate heartburn.
Oh.
Anything
Aw.
spicy, immediately heartburn. So, and when I got sick, it was very difficult. Like, I enjoy coffee so much. I enjoy specific foods so much. And then I'm trying them again, like the coffee. Nothing. No emotion, no enjoyment. It's so fucking strange. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I mean, I'm sure it'll eventually come back.
That whole foodie thing where I just loved trying foods and I enjoy food, it just isn't there right now.
Yeah. What is this? Oh.
And then everything that I've enjoyed previously, like
Yeah, hate
video
it.
games, it's like my perspective shifted in a way where everything that had big purpose and I would just do the things that I enjoyed in life and feel so good and happy and content and
Oh.
warm. But now it's like those things don't give me that warmth anymore. Like I feel like right now I just need to hey. I need to ooh, what's that glowy thing?
That's what I just got, yeah. It's a little loot crate.
Nice.
Oh, do you have to burn it?
Yeah. I'm headed to the next rift anchor that I don't have unlocked, just so I can unlock all the remaining 3 that I need. I don't know if you've done that already or not, but that's what I need to do next.
Yeah, so I feel like I need to learn and challenge myself and step up. Like one thing I noted, so one thing I'm doing in my journaling is I put a post-it note and I write them as takeaway notes. Excuse me.
I'm on fire too.
Did you like blow yourselves up?
He lit me on fire. So yeah, I have these things called takeaway notes where I put a post-it at the end and you quite literally take it away. So I'm gonna review it because I like looking back on things to see how much progress I've made or where my mindset was 2 years ago. I think that's pretty cool. And that's
Yeah.
kind of why journaling is now important to
That'd
me.
be so
Like,
sad though. Like if I write down, I'm so happy today, and then I look back at it and like I used to be happy.
no, that's such a negative way to do this.
I
So-
mean, like, here's the thing when it comes to happiness, like, there's always going to be ups and downs in life. Like, that's just the natural ebb and flow. And there is no avoiding that. It's just how it is for everyone.
It comes and goes.
Yeah.
The things that it's also nice to know what used to make you happy, because sometimes we forget those things because of life's too busy or whatever.
It's true.
Like right now, the things that used to make me happy don't make me happy. So now it's like my mission is to find what does make me happy. What
Yeah.
has been making me happy is like the ambition I'm feeling. I feel so motivated to do better at work. I feel motivated to save more money. All the frivolous spending I was doing, what the fuck? Makes zero sense now. So now I'm like saving money. Now I'm really looking forward to doing my maternity photo shoot. I'm really looking forward to doing things like that are milestones for me. Like a photo album. I'm going to buy a photo album for all the steps that I'm doing. I look forward to that. But I also want to do a photo album that's unrelated to the baby because I do have one. It's just very messy.
Yeah.
And then actually just put more effort into those things, which I didn't give a fuck about before because I'm out here living my best life, getting a latte if I wanted on Saturday, getting a massage right after. Like my life and my priorities are so different.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. It's just, like, I think that happiness is also, a sense of perspective or contextual to the situation that you're in. So in this current situation, like your happiness is more derived from setting yourself up for success for both you and your family. And that makes sense.
Yeah. And also applying myself, because I knew I wanted to learn how to cook and do better at that. Baking, cooking, and organizing my kitchen. Like I said, I took a 3-year break. Rob's been cooking for me. I haven't really needed to do anything in the kitchen. And I sat back because in my last relationship, I did like all the cooking.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that break, but now I'm also excited to get back and like learn recipes that I enjoy, write them down and have like a little recipe book, and then bake and challenge myself to, because when I started baking, it was always like progress. The first pizza dough I made was so shitty, but when I perfected that, I got to enjoy like homemade pizza like once a week. It was very nice. So, and Rob's never seen this from me. He's never gotten to receive this type of cooking. The last week, I actually meal prepped for him for the first time.
Wow.
And I made him like 2 different meals. I packed his lunches. Like being the person that can pack him a lunch and like set him up like that when he's done that for me for 3 years so far is nice.
It's crazy. It's been 3 years already.
Yeah, I know. And I feel like these 3 years has changed me. Like I was so, like I was a perfectionist. I had so much anxiety. Things in life were just like, I wasn't too like that positive as a person. So this was like a healing process for me. Oh, and another thing I am really excited to try. So even if a baby can't like understand you, it's really good to read to them out loud. That's one thing that I used to always be insecure about, is reading out loud and having the proper tone of like telling a story. Because when I would read out loud, it's like almost like, why the fuck am I doing this?
So I will say that I think it's natural for kids to like the voice of their parents, regardless of like how you perceive it.
Yeah.
I remember when I was little, my mom would talk on the phone, pretty frequently. She would call her friends or they would call her or whatever, and she would talk on the phone for like hours. And I like as a child would go into her bedroom where she was talking on the phone on her bed, and I would just like lay down and just like fall asleep next to her while she was talking because it was so relaxing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's
Honestly,
normal.
I never had that with my parents, except for when my dad played drums. Like he would play drums every day at the same time. You know what's crazy? I used to fall asleep to him playing drums. Or,
That's
like
crazy.
I'm sitting right next to the drum set and
Yeah.
on the couch. And I would fall asleep because I found that comforting.
But I mean, like, that also makes sense because it's like you're next to your parent while they're doing something they love or
Yeah.
they enjoy, and just them being in a state of happiness is probably comforting too. Oh God.
So I do plan on reading, and I've always wanted to read before this even happened for myself. And I've always wanted to be a better speaker, like expand my vocabulary by reading books, and then it's just gonna check all the boxes for the things that I've been meaning to do.
Yeah, I've been reading every night before I go to bed.
Nice. What are you reading?
I'm reading House and Earth, or wait, Fire and House and Blood, or something. I don't know. Hold on.
Oh, Jesus.
The name is so weird. I always forget the name. But it's a Crescent City. It's Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. Let me get to a safe spot.
I don't think I know. I only know like Akatar and Court of Thorn and Rose. Wait, that was the same thing.
Have you read that one?
Nope, I've not read them.
Okay, it's a very popular one right now that I think people get horny on.
What was the other one? Was it like Blue Wing or something? I forgot what it's called.
I have no idea.
House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. And yeah, a lot of her work is kind of like
I
smut.
wonder if it's the same author.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
See, I have
It's,
nothing
the titles are
against
similar.
it.
it's probably the same author.
I
Uh,
love that type of stuff over like porn, porn stories. They're kind of gross. It's not realistic, but you get an author who knows how to write about this stuff in
Yeah.
a way that's, I don't know, realistic and not gross.
It's kind of trashy, but like the story is,
Trashy. I've heard some lines.
yeah. It's kind of trashy, but the story is relatively interesting. Like it's very mystery focused and like trying to solve the mystery and everything that's like going on in the main character's life. Yeah. And it's set in a world that is like cyberpunk meets like biblical angels and demons style. Yeah. Which is a fun setting, I think.
So, one of my okay, this might be too much information, especially about Spookies here, but
Okay, good.
he's gonna watch the stream back anyways. He just didn't want to hear it. He's like, this girl's about to be a mom.
Yeah.
So like, what is that called? Where it's like, there's a word, something literature, and it's like people that storytell porn instead of visualizing porn.
Yeah.
And I feel like those are great. Like those are well done, if they're well done.
Are we talking about like fanfics? Or are we talking about like
Honestly, I've not read any fanfics. Like, what is that? Wattpad?
There's
I could probably go there for some really good stuff.
yeah,
but-
there's a website that like a lot of people go to for like fanfics and like basically what you're talking about, like
So I think I need that website because my problem with this type of literature is so many people that are clearly like men writing these stories, and I fucking hate the way they talk. Like no one talks like that. No one enjoys sex like that. Like they say, can I say this on Twitch? Are you on Twitch or YouTube?
both.
But they're like, I can't say this.
I mean, text me and I'll let you know if you can say it.
No, I can't even text that to you. I was gonna look through my DMs and be like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Basically, they talk like it's porn and it just isn't like poetic, or it just isn't good.
It's like
not
overly
great.
sexualized or whatever.
Yeah, like this. God, I can't say it, and it makes me mad. But yeah, you know that it's a man trying to write the story, whereas
Yeah.
women who write these stories do a really good job.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Oh yeah, it's okay. It's archive of our own. That's what it's called, or AO3. That's the website you're looking for.
Oh, what? Okay, hold on. Let me.
I've heard it can be very degen though, so I
See,
haven't.
I don't want degen. You know what? I should just go to Barnes and Noble and get those books that everyone gets with the guy.
You can look into that. I just like that's what I've heard, that it can be degen, but I think you can search for what you want to. So
Can you say it again? I need to.
archive of our own, or AO3.
Okay. I feel like Wattpad might just be like more romance with a little bit of that, but not like straight sex, which I'm also really fine with. Like, I think the imagination just does more, just explicitly say exactly what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
So I can't finish this area because of the stupid mana bus thing. So I'm gonna have to go somewhere else. I
Oh,
guess
that
I'll...
giant.
Yeah, like I kept trying to
gargoyle.
go to the center and it kept killing me, so I was like, have to avoid it. Sucks. Anyways, I agree with you. I think that it's important to have you know, like establish emotional connections and like a, you know, reasonable plausibility when it comes to love interest between the two characters, and not just
Yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not like too interested in going out of my way to find this stuff, but it would be nice because when I do look, it's like the Reddit one on literature or something. I forget what it's called. And then it's just like there's some realistic stories that like clearly are okay,
mm-hmm.
but it's just too many like. Have you ever heard the Kiora Indian stories?
The what?
Like you can tell that
So-
Kiora, it's like a place where people go to talk, like have these stories also.
Oh no, I haven't.
But you can also use it for like the main purpose, which is asking questions and getting them answered.
Oh.
And a lot of people just turn it into like a sex story place.
I have been to that
And
website. I just didn't realize what you're referring to. But yeah, I haven't seen that particular thing.
and the funny thing is it's like specifically taken over by Indian men. Because their story is always like from like Bangladesh or something.
Well, you know, like some countries ban like porn, so they use other websites as a means to like, you know, do
Yeah, I
their
guess
thing.
that's why.
So
And
that's
I'm like so
that's
tired of
why.
it because they talk the weirdest when it comes to this. It's like no human talks like this.
Yeah. Why is my vehicle going slower and slower? Am I just out of gas or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I had like half a tank. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I do. I have half a tank.
Oh. Oh, if you tab or look at something, it does that too. Spooky, you can come back.
I don't think he can.
Oh.
I think it might just because my
You didn't even have to leave because I filtered that shit so hard. I didn't even say it.
True. But I think he thoroughly scared him with the talking about, you know, being a mom.
Oh, I never even got to the part that I was like
Oh.
the most excited for.
Hello. Which is?
Oh. Oh, the takeaway notes too. Like I skipped over that. Okay. So I'll let you know what my takeaway note says because that summarizes things.
Yeah.
It says, learn how to be a better negotiator and practice using more empathy during conversations. So I had this really nice conversation with Will. I'm not sure if you met him. I think
Will,
he's
which
a good, like a deep talker type guy. So
which Will?
So I only know like 3 white people, including you. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
And it's Will, Rob, and you.
I see. I don't know a white Will, so that
Okay.
definitely not
He's a
anyone.
good guy. Like, wait, no, he joined us for a tiny bit in the last Once Human playthrough. He made the hut right next to my house that never really got developed.
Ah. Okay.
Laddie. So we were just talking, like, I've been having a lot of deep talks with him and Boopy and that group a little bit more lately.
Yeah.
But we talked about negotiation styles and how it helps with leading in like the work field or just even being like convincing, like how to be more convincing when you speak. And so that's a topic he really enjoys and like reads up on a lot. He's got so many like book recommendations, podcasts, and whatnot. So we were talking about our negotiation styles because I'm also, I feel like I manage and lead a lot in my workplace, but also being an IGL kind of you practice that with groups of people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But my way of operating my whole life has always been very straightforward and blunt. I don't really use empathy to set the mood before I ask for what I need. I usually just demand and
I mean, I think
get it due to the respect I've built with the people.
I
But
think there's pros and cons to both.
I mean, it's definitely good to have both skill sets. But
yes, I think it's good to know when to
Mm-hmm.
do one or the other.
So my issue is when it comes to empathy, using it to get an outcome or to convince someone to do something feels not so genuine to me because I've never operated that way my whole life. And I'm in sales, but I like being very honest and straightforward with the things that I do.
Yeah.
And it's conflicting to me, but I can see how it helps. And another thing that's conflicting is I don't really want people to like me. I don't care. And I've never really cared to like be that person that everyone just likes in a group.
I mean, I think that's good.
It's good, but
personally.
not really. Because in the past I've
It
had
just
a hard
means you're
time
not
making friends, but most recently since meeting Rob and like having more time to work on myself, I find it easy. But the issue is I don't want to most of the time. I don't really open up my group and I'm only nice and considerate to people already in the group. So if someone's new, I don't really use time or energy to be nice to them. And I don't care if they like me or not. And I think that's where the problem lies for me. And then seeing Rob and Will specifically, they're very similar in how they talk to people.
Yeah.
They like, and I've seen it in person with Rob plenty of times because we've been doing a lot of like appointments where like Verizon multiple times. When we went to look at the wedding rings, he wants to like talk up the person that we're with so that they feel pleasant in the interaction that they have with us because they're doing us a service and he wants that service to be good, like even better than it normally would have been. So he uses empathy to be likable and make that person like him to also improve the outcome of the visit that we're having, even if it's very insignificant.
Sure. I mean, it can be, charisma too. Like it's not just empathy, but like
It is partly charisma, but I do see because he makes sure I'm on board with him so that I don't say certain things that negotiating wise puts us at a disadvantage in his head. And we don't agree because my negotiation tactics is be straightforward tell
Yeah.
them exactly what I want, and then expect that result. He thinks that, and this is in terms of negotiation, he thinks he has to build up the interaction before asking for what he needs. And
He treats it like a like a what is it called in video games? Like a character development.
yeah.
Character development
And-
story arc.
And then in the end, he doesn't care if he's ever going to see this person again.
Hmm.
But he also will like leave that interaction being like, that guy was so cool. I really liked the way he spoke. Or
Yeah.
maybe some criticisms of like, that I didn't like how that guy spoke. He was too aggressive, too passive, this and that. So it's just so much energy, I think, all around from beginning to end of that conversation. Whereas I find myself just being so straight with them, literally not talking unless it's necessary, and then cutting the conversation as short as possible to get the outcome efficiently with little effort. So I feel like I could learn a bit of that, you know?
I think it depends. Like there's situations where you might encounter someone that you're like, okay, this person, regardless of how I interact with them, are gonna be kind of like, you know, they're not gonna you know, be friendly with me or be swayed by you know, being friendly or empathetic to them. And that happens. But there are people that, you know, they respond really well to it, and you can see that, you know, in their reaction to like how you treat them. But I think in general, like I think it's important to treat people like, you know, they're human beings because they are, and that they all have their own motivations and goals and desires that are outside of your own, and that changes how they, you know, interact with the world and the things that they're willing to do and everything like that. So, yeah, like it's just it's. I think it's like I guess my question would be like, what do you want to get out of this? Like, what is your end goal for
Learning these new things.
Yeah, because like I feel like
So I guess, so here's why. I read this in my journal too.
uh-huh.
As someone who's about to be a mom, I know that the way I am in... Okay, I'll just look at the notes real quick.
All right.
How I act will also impact whether or not people, specifically adults, view and treat my kid. There's a psychology to being associated with like what I do in settings. Like let's say I have to do school meetups and stuff. If I'm so introverted that I can't do any of these things or be personable or likable in these mom groups,
Yeah.
it's going to rub off on my kid in a negative way, even though it's a subtle, like, subconscious thing, because no one's going to actively treat kids badly. But there was this thing that I watched with Rob about, like, how the kids' behavior can really impact how much rejection they get in life from other kids and the parents of those kids.
Yeah.
So, and that also applies to me and Rob, like how we are and how we treat people and how we talk to people. So for me, being so like cut the conversation short, not so empathetic mostly, and not really caring to make friendships. Because I'm so
can I
introverted.
expand on that? I think that you are empathetic, Jess. I think you're just not empathetic to people that you haven't built a connection with.
Right.
I think there's a difference.
I'm very reserved.
Yeah.
And I don't care to bring other people into my space because I protect it so much, my own time. I protect my time a lot and who I
Yeah.
surround myself with. So obviously, when I'm motivated for something, like if I want to be more involved in my kids' school life, I will
Hmm.
find myself volunteering for things. I want to be involved in what they do at school. I want to. One thing I really want to do is pick my kid up after school and take them to a park as like a regular thing for our after school snack. Because, just have a picnic. And I think that would be so much fun.
Yeah.
And so, and also as a negotiator, when I've been in situations where the way I approach something didn't necessarily work with that person, I do adjust to adding more empathy or finding ways to bring reason to the situation. I've been mostly successful in getting my point across and building respect with people.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I lack in that way. I just feel like my approach has been a little too harsh because in the past I've always been like I'm learning things like gentle parenting. I could take a gentle approach to other aspects in my life that would help me when it comes time to do those things like gentle parenting, because if I don't practice now, it's going to be a little harder for me when the kid can speak, you know?
Hmm. I will say that that one thing that I've noticed that works really well is to, and something that my own mom did for me. It was like she always treated me like an adult, even though I was like a child. Obviously.
I also like that. I've already talked to Rob about making sure that we do that.
Yeah.
And I think by reading books that are mature, but not like that they won't understand, will help them with vocabulary a lot sooner, and it'll just be better for them.
I mean,
Because
at the same
yeah,
time, like I still recommend like making sure that your child has the opportunity to be a child.
right.
Like they get to do things that they feel like they want to do, but also like treating them like an equal can be
So
can be pretty important.
Rob and I have talked about that in a way where I'm not trying to make this kid grow up fast. I already know what that's like due
Yeah.
to having hardships and stuff as a kid. But when it comes to like we're watching this show called From, and there's so many things where the kids are fucking up so badly that I feel like if the parents just talk to them and let them know why that was bad or the risks that could happen, the kid wouldn't have done that. Like adults are in like movies are too afraid to tell them things that are scary or just not great to hear for kids because they want to protect them. But you're not really protecting them, you're actually putting them at risk. Like stranger danger, you're going to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But for me and him, we want to be able to explain things to our kids, even if like
So I've actually heard this. I've actually heard this from parents in the past, and like they've said they've wanted to guide their kids and help them prevent them from going down paths that could be very hard on them, like and things that are going to be difficult, or choices that they think will affect them negatively, or things like that. And yeah, you can try to educate them and give them that information as much as possible, but there is a point where kids will just stop listening to you. Like they don't necessarily want to hear that, and they're going to take that path regardless of what you say.
like
And
you are you trying to say like teenagers?
yeah, I mean, like definitely the older they get, the more
So
that's going to happen.
the thing about my experience growing up, I never felt that way, but my parents or my grandpa specifically, when it came to like alcohol and drugs, it was very nonchalant. Like we weren't restrictive in ways where, like, I knew my dad smoked weed growing up at a young age. So
Yeah.
because it was like something that he did often, I never was like, oh, maybe I should do weed because then mom's not cool. She smokes weed. Weed can't be cool, you know? Like, that's how I felt. Like, oh, my dad smokes weed. It must not be anything important.
That's so wild.
And then my grandpa, he let me drink alcohol at a young age.
Who was it that let you like shoot a gun? Was it your dad?
Yeah, so I shot when I was like 7 years old.
That's crazy. I actually did shoot a gun when I was younger too. I don't remember how young. I was probably like 10 though. But I'm pretty sure my mom didn't want me to do it.
But I also played shooter video games, so it just didn't seem like I didn't glorify guns. Like when I played, I'd rather play other things than to pretend I'm shooting someone in real life, you know? Which is a problem for a lot of parents, like when they bring toy replicas to work, school. But I was introduced to alcohol at 15, which is so bad. I know you shouldn't do that. But my grandpa did it in a way where it's like, here, just try this. Of course you don't like it.
Yeah.
And then he would have a drink with me, and obviously I wouldn't drink the alcohol because it was so bitter. I did end up start drinking.
He probably
with him,
probably got you the worst one.
No. Okay.
What did he
we
have you drink?
God, expensive Italian liquor.
That's
So,
funny.
When I
That's
not
very.
when I was 15. The first sip he let me have was 15ish. We started drinking together when I was 18. Where on Saturday we would go out and buy a new bottle of booze and scratchers or lotto tickets. Like he would buy me a set, he would get a set. And then we would go home and have a glass of like whiskey on the rocks or
This is basically just like his ideal evening. It is
his ideal evening.
He's just
but
sharing it with you. Yeah.
Because I actually got a taste of alcohol, so I loved Patron, specifically the coffee liquor Patron. That was my thing. I decided that was the one I liked, so he would buy that one for me if I wanted it. Like I had my own bottle in my room.
That's crazy.
And this is so wild. Okay. And his favorite drink is a rum and Coke. So we would get the Bacardi white rum. He would buy a bottle of Coke, and that was his drink. I personally didn't care for it, but we would try new ones together. So he would get me my bottle of choice. He got his bottle of choice. We would buy a new bottle to experiment flavors. Like that one orange drink. It's an Italian coffee liqueur. Amaretto, I think, was what it was called. And then just other ones. And then I wouldn't drink those further because I just wanted to taste it one time. And then I found that Patron was just my favorite. It was very sweet. Hennessy was also kind of nice. But
So
because I was
crazy.
taught how to drink responsibly and it wasn't withheld from me, I didn't drink often. Like I had this bottle for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then when I was 21 and I was going to all these parties, I never abused alcohol until like 23 when we did Saddle Rack or something. That was an accident.
God, I remember that place.
And then I stopped pretty much drinking at the age of 25 when all the partying was done from like 21. So I barely partied like immediately at 21. I think most of it was 22, 23. And then I had 2 bad experiences with alcohol and I just stopped drinking in that way where it's like party drinking. And I only drank for the taste, like what is that? An old fashioned here and there. Because I really still enjoy the taste of alcohol. Like those
old fashions is so it's oh man, it's too much for me, honestly.
I really liked it. It just is a nice sipping drink. My
It definitely
most,
burns your throat, that's for sure.
yeah, it's strong. I can't tolerate that type of drink anymore
Yeah.
because it's been so long since I've had alcohol. I think something easy to drink for me would be like a lemon drop, but my go-to anywhere is a coffee martini. I actually had someone make an old-fashioned coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and that was so good. The best drink I've ever had. But it was like $22, and everyone makes a coffee liquor drink differently, and I can never get one that's consistently really good.
Right.
And this was when Rob and I were dating. We'd get like a drink every other week or something. And I don't like do more than one drink at a time. Like it's just the one that gets you tipsy, and like that's it. Obviously, as a parent, I would never do that myself with my kid. But I do see how like making it seem like, oh, this is adults only is going to cause them to think it's like cooler than it really is.
I get that. It's ironic because I never really had that experience as a kid. Like there was one time that I was given the option to like drink alcohol. I think it was like a beer from my dad when I was younger.
Ew.
And I tried it once and I was just like, ugh, this is gross.
Yeah.
And then that was it, you know? But when I got older, I still like, I didn't really have an interest in drinking. And in fact, like even when I was 18 and I had the opportunity to drink, when I was in Mexico, like legally I could drink there in Mexico. I didn't. I just didn't want to. And even when I went to college, you know, and I was legally able to drink, I still didn't. It wasn't until I was like 22 when I first moved to California that I decided that I wanted to drink. But that was because I had a mindset shift, which was I realized that, oh, you know, drinking can be a social activity, something that
Yeah.
that is more to just enhance the moment than it is to, you know, to like try and have fun because you can't have fun otherwise. Which is what I saw from everyone that I was around, you know, where I grew up.
I remember this.
Yeah.
Too.
So like, you know, everyone around me just drank for fun, you know, for the sake of drinking. And it wasn't because, you know, they were just trying to enhance whatever social experience they were having, or they were doing like, you know, anything like that. It was because there was nothing else to do. And they saw that as their way to have fun, which I didn't really find appealing.
Yeah, I enjoy like feeling a little tipsy, like one drink.
Yeah.
Anything more than that kind of just takes away because my stomach starts to hurt and whatever. Now that I don't know if I really enjoy drinking anymore. After I give birth, I'm gonna also not drink while like a year after.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I'm out of gas.
Uh-oh.
My tolerance is just not going to be there anymore. On top of that, but yeah. Okay. But like, if we do a board game, I definitely want to drink things like spiced eggnog or like, I don't know, holiday stuff. I would do possibly.
Like, you mean,
Spiked eggnog.
like in the future, you mean? Like whenever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I used to drink that soju with the ginseng by myself while I'm watching dramas and stuff.
That's
I
pretty
do enjoy
good.
that too.
It's
Like, just
weird.
a shot or two with a meal.
Yeah, it's weird because that ginseng is like, it's not very appetizing at first, but then
Oh.
it gets good. I don't know why. It's just
It
like
has a sweetness to it that just works.
something
I think it works
about
well with seafood.
yeah. I think something about it is like it's a like it takes a bit for it to like um just be tasty, because at first like it's such a weird taste to
Oh,
drink.
that's true. Ginseng must be even stranger to anyone who
Yeah,
hasn't had it when they were a kid. Because I had
100%.
ginseng candies when I was young
Yeah.
from like my grandma or something.
And so like, you add that to the fact that it's like, relatively strong too. Then it's yeah. But after you drink like, I don't know, maybe one or two or three shots, like it's pretty good. Like it starts to get tasty. And it's like you can't stop drinking it. It's like, oh my god. This is like
It's very easy to drink.
yeah. It
when
is
I-
after the third drink.
When I had that for the first time with Mike and Jen,
Mhm.
it was probably one of my most favorite recent experiences. Okay, one thing I don't do much anymore in the last year is share a meal with someone. I'm so tired of that. Like Rob and I, we have dinner together and whatnot, but I want a family meal with my family or a group of friends that feel like family to me.
Well, we're
And
gonna
it's
be
just
doing
been
Thanksgiving,
a
so
while. Yeah.
yeah.
Because that was something I always did for my own family, and when they were all together in the same house for a little bit, and my ex and stuff, and his family and his brother and people around him, I would just bring to enjoy stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, as you
it's
should.
kind of more isolating now with just Rob and I here because his family isn't like immediately near. They don't even eat Asian food, so it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the same. And like,
But
I
I want to do
also
hot pot or dim sum or
I also find that like most oh shit, it's up top. Fuck. Most like Western culture, like they don't like sharing food either.
yeah.
So like
Or
it's just a different vibe as well. Like you're just
the closest I feel eating white food or American food, I guess, is
Mhm.
brunch, which is nice. I like brunch.
Yeah.
Like eating a breakfast with someone feels more connected than dinner for some reason to me.
Well, I mean, I suppose in that regard, like it's because most breakfast places, except for like dim sum, you're gonna be eating, solo dishes anyways, so it makes sense. But yeah, like I still prefer like family style eating food together. It's so much more fun and more variety. So like
Yeah.
even better.
And I also enjoy doing the cooking that brings people together,
Yeah.
like the hot pot when at home, stuff like that, or interactive cooking, like Korean barbecue or hot pot, which you do on at the table.
Yeah. So, I was gonna say for Friday, uh, food wise, like it's gonna be really casual since we're doing the Thanksgiving, relatively, soonish.
Mhm.
So, I'm literally just gonna order in pizza.
Okay, I haven't had pizza in so long, so I'm actually
Me,
okay with that.
me either actually. So,
Yeah, and I'm going to the office on Friday, and if they fucking buy pizza, I'm gonna be mad.
oh, that'd be
Because
unfortunate.
they know that's like the thing that they do all the time, but they don't buy like the right pizza.
That
It's
sucks.
too fast food. Too greasy for me.
Do you have any requests? Pizza requests?
So I'm always down for a Neapolitan style pizza because I find those aren't oily, but those are also more expensive. I don't really know what companies here are good anymore. Pizza Boccolupo is my favorite pizza spot, but I haven't tried them since I got back, so I don't know if they're good anymore. And they're at San Pedro Square, but they do delivery.
I actually haven't heard of that place. You might have to send me a link.
San
Oh.
Pedro, they actually have ovens imported from Italy that are. They said it costs them like 20K per oven.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah. But the pizzas you've ordered in the past, I
Yeah.
remember them not being fast food or greasy either.
Yeah, the New York pizza
I'm
place.
down
Like,
with that one. New York style is always good.
yeah. Okay. Well, I might end up getting that. I'll considering getting like 2 pizzas, but we'll see.
I'm not exactly sure if I can eat too much. With
Yeah.
pizza, I usually do like 1 or 2 slices maximum.
Okay.
And it would be nice to have mushrooms.
Just huddle
Oh my
some.
god, there's
Oh, you know what?
sunflowers.
I could do
Pretty.
half and half, like toppings. I forgot about that. So
Look,
I'll
the
probably
boar
do
was
that.
gonna attack me until I pointed my gun at it.
The heck?
Did they get smarter?
Maybe.
I'm just fuck you. Oh my god. I'm trying to enjoy the sunflowers. I've never seen sunflowers in this game before. It's so nice.
No. Oh god.
Uh-oh.
Came out of nowhere. I didn't even hear it attacking me. I also have like a ton of like what do you call it? The like gray bar. What is it again?
Sanity?
Yeah. My sanity's like hecka going.
I need the sun to come out so that these sunflower photos turn out really well. What? It's a whole sunflower field.
That's cool. I was talking to Lillian. She was the one that actually asked me to do something for Halloween. She seemed like she wasn't like completely filling up to doing like driving down. So I don't know if she's really gonna come or not. So we might just have 4 people. Oh, and Amy said that she's gonna be like leaving at 8. So she'll only be there for like a couple hours, which is fine. That's plenty of time.
I think when people want something on Halloween, it's mostly like a party.
Well,
So-
I when I talked to her originally, I was like, oh, okay, like, so like, do you want to do like board games? And she's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, I'll set it up. And but now she's saying that she doesn't know. But I think
Oh.
that like there's things going on in her life too, so like I understand.
I normally look for parties and stuff on Halloween like I did last year. But this year I just don't want to do anything like too crazy.
Yeah.
Mellow.
I mean, this is gonna be pretty mellow for sure.
And I'm not like usually when I have events, I'm the most excited for the food. But based on the track record recently, I'm so worried that I'm gonna get acid reflux from tomato sauce.
Oh yeah, it's possible.
It's a life now, so.
I mean, would you be okay if we had like salad as well?
Nope.
Can't eat salad?
No, it's not gonna help if I have a pizza.
Oh.
Like to have both or whatever. Also, I'm not just eating salad. Like, if it gives me acid reflux, whatever.
I guess maybe
Do
like
you have hot chocolate? Because I am looking forward to that.
I do.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
I have
I
like
just-
2 different forms of hot chocolate, so you can
It's
take your
been
pick.
so long for me to like enjoy a hot drink that like a coffee or a latte or something warm. So I'm hoping that hot chocolate would do the trick for me.
Well, I have it.
The rain's not stopping.
I know.
Oh, also, it's so cold lately. It just suddenly hit me like the last 3 days.
Yeah.
And
I don't mind it though.
do you have like a nice heater at home?
So my like apartment complex has both built-in heat and air conditioning.
Mine does too, but I tried the heater last night at maximum and it barely could tell. You can barely tell it was there.
Right. Yeah, I do have to increase the heat more than I would expect. I think that's kind of normal. But I will say, in order to make the heat work, I realize I have to turn the, like if you have multiple that are separate, you have to turn the other ones off or set them to heat as well.
No, I only have one in my bedroom, which is where I literally sleep right next to it, and I could barely feel it.
I
At
see.
80, it's set to 80. The max is 85, I think. But it's whatever. I'm gonna have to probably buy a secondary heater or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's kind of exciting that I can dress warm. I'm just not that prepared for it since I've been in SoCal for the last 2 years.
True. I was excited about it. I mean, I feel ready for the colder weather. It'll be nice.
It makes, I don't know, the vibes are right. Like when you go get a hot chocolate outside and then your face is cold.
Yeah. Some of the like best hot chocolates I had were in San Francisco for that reason.
I think the best one I've had was Christmas in the Park,
Yeah, I remember
but
that.
not the most recent one. When I'm younger and I had that tolerance for very sweet things, that was when it was best.
I see.
I think
Yeah.
I used to be such like a health freak that I wouldn't eat things with a lot of sugar. But this last year, 2 years, I don't care anymore. So that hot chocolate would probably be really good to me right now. But back then I was like, nah, this is too sweet.
I get it. I'm really risking my life here with no health, just running around.
Oh my god, there's a white reindeer. Or it looks
What?
like it's just a deer with antlers, but it looks like a reindeer.
Is it
It's
like
white.
albino or something?
Yeah, except the horns are brown.
Wild.
I noticed this this update. They changed the colors of animals because they were all the same color before. They've added new plants. Oh, there's a raccoon.
Oh.
Cute.
Almost died. That was close. Yeah, they did they add an execution feature? Because I don't remember that being there before. Do you?
Execute like what? Animals?
Like you get them low and then there's a button you can press F that like executes them.
Ooh, I feel like there was, but for like captive animals.
What?
Like you can execute. Oh, I think it was called slaughter. The
That's
animals
definitely
that you keep. Because
yeah,
you
definitely
can
not what
farm
I'm talking about. I'm talking about monsters that are
Oh,
not.
no. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my god. Your poor animals.
I never did except for one wolf because he was just so mean.
Sad.
And he would glitch through fences and walls to kill me. So I had to.
That's crazy. I probably need to call it soon. The next like 5 minutes or so.
Okay. Have you been sleeping earlier?
Yeah. I usually am in bed by 10 these days.
By 10?
Yeah. Like I don't go to sleep until I don't go to sleep right away, but I'm usually in bed by 10. Or try to be. And I wake up at 8 every morning. What's that?
So early.
Yeah, but I'm used to it now. But I go to bed earlier so that I can read too, you know. I think I'm going in circles now. I don't know where I've been and where I need to go. I think I'm gonna teleport back now because I don't know where I'm going. And I need to heal anyway, so. Where to go, where to go? Where's my home? Oh, 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 oh my god. It's good that it tells you that enemies are approaching when you're in the map. Wait, where is my home? I don't know where my home... There it is. I was struggling. What time do you usually go to bed?
My god. 3 a.m.
Oh my god. I mean, I used to do that, but like, I've found that I am the most productive and the happiest whenever I get consistent sleep and I go to bed, or at least I wake up at the same time. I try to go to bed around the same time as much as I can, but like, you know, realistically speaking, that doesn't happen every day just because of obligations or whatever.
So I actually wake up at 10, which I kind of really like my schedule. Obviously, this is gonna get fucked really soon.
I think having a child is gonna change everything for sure.
Oh yeah. But so far it's been great, you know, my work schedule and everything. But I notice if I go to sleep at 1:30, I get the best rest. Like I don't feel like I need a nap anytime through the day, and I get through my dreams. My dreams tend to happen right when my alarm clock rings, and that's when I know I didn't sleep enough. If it finishes, it almost always finishes an hour. Like if I slept through, I would just need 1 hour, so until 11. If I sleep at 3, if it's at 2, then 10 is perfect. Which I noticed. So I have been trying to sleep a little, like get into bed by 1:30 or 1 o'clock at the latest. Lately though, because I've been hanging out with like Spooky, Cassie, Boopy, and Will. Like,
So many funny names.
and just Will. Like
And just Will. We need to rename him to Willie.
he actually changed his name to Spooky, so Spooky changed his name to Adam.
What? How does that make sense?
Because it's his actual name. Also, we do a lot of first name basis in our friend group.
Uh-huh.
Except for Spooky and Boopy, because they've got names that we prefer over real names.
That's a
Like
wild thing to
Boopy
say.
that in real life when we're hanging out.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I have friends like that. There's someone that I know from the Smash community. Her name's Birdie. Like that's not her real name, but that's the name that she is always going to be known by in my
I like that.
in my mind. Yeah, it's cute.
Angel is always Angel, even though his name. What the fuck is his name? His real name. I used to know this. It doesn't matter.
You don't need to know anymore. That's so funny, actually.
But yeah. And Rob is just fucking Rob.
Why did you say that with so much malice? It sounded
'Cause
like
I don't like the name Rob.
you're dating the guy. I don't know what to tell you.
His game name is Robski.
Yeah?
Of course, it would be, you know.
Sounds very white to me, honestly.
Sounds about white.
Yeah. Wait,
Um,
did I have Oh, okay. Anyways, that's really funny.
It's more of like a roll your eyes thing because he's trying to name our kid Robert.
Oh boy.
And if that has to happen, which, God, why? The kid's gonna be called Robbie. I actually knew a kid named Robbie, which I thought was pretty cool. Growing up.
Okay. I mean, it works out then, I guess.
Well, maybe I could tell that to Rob and he'll get jealous and not name the kid Robert.
Now you're thinking.
Because
Oh,
there's
man.
always that one person that just ruins names for you.
It's true. It's true. It's weird how that works, too.
I mean, does that show like how much you actually don't like that person, or does it just show that you don't? I mean, you could still like them and not want to name your kid after them.
I think that it's not necessarily that. I think it's just like, I think that just in the same way that we as humans like to label things and put things into categories, we associate names with personality types, whether we admit it or not. And so whenever we come across a personality type, we like, you know, we embody that name that they're associated with that personality type. And what's ironic is like there's been, I don't know how like scientific these studies are. There's been studies that have said that people also change their personalities based on their names. So, you know,
What does
like
it mean for people named? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Like, one name I will definitely never fucking use is Johnny, because I know too many Johnnies that I don't like.
Damn. Valid, I guess. Oh man. That's really funny though. But yeah, I mean like that's just how it is, you know. Names are like the labels that we give ourselves. So,
What other boy names would be tolerable?
I mean, have you thought of any other names for girls, or are you pretty content with Melody?
I'm very content with that because I've determined that one like a long time ago.
Okay, makes sense.
And it was an immediate yes from Rob, so we're both kind of happy with it. But another one that I've always liked because I knew a girl named May was May, obviously. But if she's born in May, named May, it's like a little strange, I think. Like too gimmicky. But I think that the name is a very sweet name and it associates spring with the person. And I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I like the name May, so I get it. But I mean, I guess you'll know, like, you'll also know as it gets closer. Like, I think that you'll start to have the feeling of what feels right, and like that'll be more coherent for you. But I guess we'll see.
So I feel like what I don't want to do is try to make the child anything like me, or like, you know, like force them to live similar. I don't know. one reason I think Melody is nice is because my name for so long when I played World of Warcraft was Melrose. So people would give me the nickname Mel, which would be her nickname. And I felt like that was pleasant. Like, it wasn't weird to be called that. I didn't think it was like too dated or anything. But I feel like that's kind of like trying to make a mini me a little too much.
Yeah.
And you know how like people try to live through their kids? Like, that's not happening here at all.
Right.
But it could be perceived that way if let's say I do end up being a paranoid, controlling mom because like something happens, like they get lost one day and now I'm like scared. There's so many things, like being controlling and like overbearing as a mom is one thing I definitely don't want to do.
I think that it's very easy to put yourself into the mindset of like all the things you don't want to do, that you may get caught up in. Am I doing things right? Like the question of like, you know, second guessing yourself a lot and, you know, just feeling uncertainty in general. I think that's going to probably happen throughout, but just remember that that is natural and it's also the correct sign of a good parent, a parent that's willing to make sure that they're doing doing things in the way that they feel is, you know, best for their child.
Right. Yeah, so my concern is I'm trying not to lose myself and who I am, and I don't want being a mom to be my whole personality. I feel like you can easily lose that.
I think you have too strong of a personality for that to happen. I'll be honest.
I hope so, because I like when people keep their passions through old age. Like they can still put themselves first when life gets tiring. Honestly, when my dad came over, my thing was like, wow, we have to try so hard to continue to ground ourselves and find ourselves and not let ourselves like become ignorant in the way of thinking, in the way that we live our life. And we had to maintain being social and surrounding ourselves with good people every year of our life on this planet, just to do that for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of work. And a lot of people don't really find the time to just sit there and like reanalyze who they are currently, because that changes all the time. And I used to do it every 2 years. I would do like an ego check, I guess, where I like look at myself and I see, am I the person that I want to be? Am I proud to be this type of person? Type of thing. And what are my goals and who do I want to become? Because you can become anything you want to be as long as you start implementing small changes. Like, if I want to be that person who wakes up at 8 a.m. and is very productive early in the morning, I have to start implementing habits that person would do. Like go to bed earlier and say no to screen time. And, you know, like you gotta...
There's a lot of disciplines that comes with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I really wanted to make a change, and that's the thing, people get comfortable not wanting to change. They get upset by change. I need to make sure that I'm capable of allowing change, being comfortable with change, and looking for change my whole life until I'm like old and it's uncomfortable still, but I'm still challenging myself to do that.
I don't think I'm ever going to struggle with that. Just based on my, you know.
Heard that like Geminis always want change.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how like valid it is, but I mean, it makes sense. For me,
I'm always actively working towards something, and if I don't work towards something, I don't feel like stagnant or bad or lazy, but I do feel like I'm more stimulated and happier when I have something that I'm trying that's new, that's I'm working towards.
Yeah.
I like even introducing things in my surroundings that I've never seen before or wouldn't normally do. And I think that's very interesting. And I want to live that life for a long time. But usually when people say life gets in the way, it's like, oh, I had to be a mom. I had to sacrifice. I had to do this and that. Finances got hard, so I stopped doing these things that I enjoyed. That is my biggest fear. I do not want to make excuses or to have reasons to not allow myself to grow, you know? And it could be hard. Like the first year after giving birth, I'm going to lose sleep. It's going to be really hard for me. And I will do what I need to do to make sure I do it well, even if it means 1 year of sacrifice for that year. But I need to find myself after when I can manage my schedule a bit more and I'm not learning how to keep a baby alive, you know, for the first time in my life. Get back to the gym, find things that make me happy, connect with people regularly, and have a schedule that's sustainable and healthy, that doesn't only revolve around childcare. And I told Rob that includes traveling because I didn't want a kid to prevent me from traveling to places that I've always wanted to go in my life.
Yeah, I agree.
It will cost money. It will be harder to travel after having kids, but I still want to make sure I get that experience.
I think that's those are all great ambitions to have, and I agree. And I think that you're right. Like it's gonna require some level of sacrifice. But I think that's true for any challenge or any goal. There's always something you're sacrificing
Like
in order.
getting a new job.
Yeah.
It's always hard for the first year. You don't feel like you can take a vacation that year because honestly, you should still take the vacation. But most people don't because they feel like they have to show up for their company.
I think within the first 3 months, like you're still gaining your bearings, and then it's probably wise to put your focus into a new job as much as you can during those first 3 months. After that, I think you're pretty safe to take time off, is provided you can. You know, like there's some companies that don't allow you to until a certain time period, so like you may not be able to, but if you can, you should, because you know, taking on a new job is a lot. You're learning a lot. The first 3 months are chaotic, and you know, it's definitely a necessity or something that you should do to better position yourself to have the right mindset going forward.
Right.
Yeah. And no one else is going to look after your work-life balance.
Right. You got to advocate for yourself in everything that you do in life.
Yep. 100%.
Honestly, it's so hard. Like in my last relationship, I should have advocated for myself better or sooner. I should have not been there as long as I did. And like hindsight, you know, easy. But honestly, if I didn't stay as long as I did, I wouldn't have been where I am right now with who I'm with. And it had to happen. But
everyone has to go through
seen those signs sooner.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like when my kid goes through shit like this, they're not gonna listen to me. They have to experience it.
Yep.
Very unfortunate, but it's something I'm learning. Like with being the person that guides people, like my brother, my sister, my whole family. Like I feel like I've learned you can't explain what you've gone through in life and expect them to just have the cheat sheet through life and just not experience that hardship because you went through it. It's just, it doesn't work that way.
It's not realistic. That's not how it works.
I wish though.
Yeah, I mean, like if that were possible, then you know, obviously people would be much more different in society, and like we would have, I think, people more willing to actually change and grow and everything. But it's scary for most people. You know, change is scary for most people, and growing is scary. So like all these things that come naturally from the experiences that you have, it's not something that most people strive for. You know what I mean? Like it's something that is kind of forced upon them, and that
They have to learn.
they have to do it to
It's all
adapt.
perspective too.
Yeah.
'Cause they're not gonna have the same perspective as you to be able to agree that that's the best way to do things until they've gone through it themselves. And
Yes.
honestly, one thing that's shocking to me is I've been so, before I used to have like safety nets on safety nets because I felt like I was responsible for so many things. And if I fall, everything is fucked.
Yeah.
And that was the life I lived. But I was so sure of myself and so confident of my abilities to just be there and be the one that could do everything and solve everything that I wasn't actually afraid of anything. Like I was afraid that like financially one hit would knock me down, but I
Mhm.
also knew I could bounce back from almost anything.
Yeah.
But when I started making really big decisions, like do I leave this relationship of 9 years? It's like the question is now like how does my future look 10 years from now? Did I make a at the moment it seems so big. It's like you never know what the hell is going to happen next. Like this could be really bad for your future, could be really good for your future, and that uncertainty is like so scary. And I've never experienced that before.
That's
Because I
that's the
thought,
scary part, right? Is like
yeah, I thought like no matter what happens, as long as I'm here and I'm capable, I can do anything. And honestly, I feel that more now because I've gone through it, that point of seeing a question mark at the fork of the road
yeah.
on each end. I've overcome something that seemed like the biggest hurdle in my life, which is so insignificant now. That like I feel very confident in my abilities to adapt and change and to support myself. Let's say even Rob makes it very easy because I feel safe and protected and supported if anything were to happen, which is so new, like my whole life. But even if he didn't exist, I feel like I am that person for myself also, which is so insane and so pleasant. I think before, if I didn't have those 3 years to recover and grow and find my value, my self-worth, I wouldn't have felt as secure as I do right now with myself.
That makes sense. And you know, I think that finding that place of like self-confidence and confidence in your own capabilities and trusting in yourself, like it's weird, it feels like a repeating cycle in life, in the sense that like you know this at various points and then you forget it, or you've gotten to a place where you feel comfortable and then you have to redo it, you know, you have to, like rediscover your
Life
confidence
humbles you
yeah,
many different times.
exactly. And like I'm going through that, so like I know you're going through it in your own way, I'm going through it in my own way, but like yeah, it's it's weird how that happens.
Yeah.
But
And it's almost like how you perceive things can improve or like make this a lot easier or worse.
mhm. Yeah, it's definitely like the nice thing is like you can build upon past experiences and past accomplishments and success to help with the confidence going forward, because when you look back and you say, well, I accomplished this, I accomplished that, I was capable enough to do these things, I can do it again.
Right.
And it may not be as significant as the challenge you have that's upcoming, but it's enough to give you some level of confidence to move forward. And the reality is, like, you may not have all the answers in the moment, and most people never do, but you just need to know the next step. And
also,
that's all that matters.
if you're sure about your decision making and like, as long as you don't lose yourself so much that you're influenced easily, like the way that you operate in the future is just for your own benefit, and you're capable of, doing the right thing for yourself.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice is, like, I was so sure about my lifestyle and the way I was living was, like, I was almost too ignorant because I was so sure about myself. Like, there has to be a lot of room for continued growth, perspective, and, like, constantly reevaluating your mindset. Because like, what I thought at the time is kind of embarrassing right now.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about. That's who you were in the moment.
I know, for sure. But, like, I thought I had to be a ride or die, which is dumb. Where did I get that from? I think I got that from my experiences, not really having someone to guide me. And I always thought loyalty was so important. I think it's because that's something I valued in people.
Yeah.
They could stick by me when I'm going through
That's something you
and
wanted.
I have very limited family. It is something I wanted. But I felt like being a ride or die was, like, such a big deal for me. And I was so proud of that, when in reality, that was what was harming me.
I mean, I wouldn't, here's the thing I will say. I think that there's nothing wrong with wanting to be loyal, wanting to be a ride or die. I think what can be problematic with that is if your loyalty is misplaced, if you ignore the red flags, if you ignore the warning signs.
It's crazy that I couldn't see them at the time. Like,
yeah.
The person I was a ride or die for didn't deserve any of that. But and I obviously, oh God, I don't mind this being public because I always talked about this. I've always talked about this.
Yeah.
When you have abuse as a child, you don't get to see those red flags. It almost seems normal when you get.
It's normalized, 100%.
Neglectful to you, or doesn't, like, show you that you're so special or important. So that's why I couldn't see it. But it's crazy that there were so many times I should have been able to see it and I just couldn't. And then Rob, I feel like I talk so highly of him. It's not that, like, well, he was able to show me what it looks like to actually be special to someone, or treated like on a pedestal, like someone that actually likes you and cares about you and wants to do everything for your best interests. And so it's been healing and, like, changing exactly everything that I've experienced in life. He's kind of just fixed by being, not even like he's going above and beyond or out of his way. He's just giving an environment where I feel safe and secure and can water my own garden,
And I think that is the right thing to do. Like, I think that in any relationship, you should be encouraging your partner to be the best person that they can be, and, supporting that. I think at the end of the day, it's still on the individual to do that. I mean, like, you can't, help your partner change. You can only be their support system, the person that that is there for them and encourages the growth that they have to make on their own.
I also feel proud that this growth that I'm having isn't because he encouraged me to or said you should work on yourself. It's just something that I've realized I was neglecting in the past. Like, who am I? And why did I not advocate for myself in the past?
Yeah.
I redefined who I am. I put so much value in myself that it forces people around me to see how much I'm worth, you know? And they treat me accordingly to how I treat myself. And Rob didn't like try to build this space for me. It's just his character and what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't know that that's how I felt or the outcome that happened because he is the way that he is. Like, he still talks every day. Do you have enough water today? Did you eat food? Are you hungry? Like, just things like that. Like, if I'm out, he knows I forget how to get food sometimes. So he makes sure I do that. Like, someone to remind me of the littlest things is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I mean, like, that's what's great about the dynamic that you two have, is like, that is his natural, you know, way of operating in a relationship, and that's what you needed, because of your past experience and everything. So like, you know, it's a really good dynamic, and yeah, I think it's really healthy.
And I also find it's surprising because we didn't really have to talk about what we want or expect from each other.
Mm-hmm.
It just happened that we both happened to fit well. And I didn't tell him, I've never had the conversation of like, you don't do enough for me, you don't like do this or that, like I need more of this. I've been very content with where it's at. And I feel like when things have changed, they get better too. Like, now that we're excited to have kids, like things shift in ways where I feel more loved, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's nice.
I you know, I've said this before, but I'm happy for you, and I'm very glad that you have a healthy relationship like that.
Yeah. And I've been noticing, I don't know if it's because of the relationship or where I am right now in life, but I'm starting to notice that I don't tolerate things anymore that I used to from like my own family. So
That's good.
like, I used to be the only person in my family to give gifts for Christmas, their birthdays, and no one gives me anything back. They don't even say happy birthday half the time because they forget. Yeah, I still have always, my whole life, made it a point to get everyone a present and to make them feel special on their birthday. Like, I don't forget.
Yeah.
But this year, it's like, I'm going to build my own family, you know? So for me to invest that time and the money to do that for my family when they still continue not to say thank you for things, it doesn't feel right by me anymore. And I'm starting to like think and reevaluate differently about that. Like, I have Rob, I'm gonna have my kid. It's like, should I pull back from this, you know?
I will say, like, I think that priorities become more apparent as you have a child in the mix for your life, and things that seemed necessary or important before will, you know, obviously change. And so that's, you know, very likely that that's something that will change for you, in the sense that like you will prioritize you know, mutual bonding, mutual connections with people that are going to want to be a part of your life, not just, you know, are part of your life because of, you know, the fact that they're your family or whatever. Like, you know, they actually want to be in your life and be part of it and be a part of your child's life. Like, those are all things that are,
Right.
you know,
My mom wants nothing to do with this. Like,
exactly, you know.
for the most part, she doesn't seem to be fitting the role. Like, I expected her to want to stay in San Jose to be a part of the child's life, but she's moving to Vegas. But that's all right. I have no expectations with my family. The fact that my grandpa passed away, I think, influences this. Like, he was someone that I really had a soft spot for and cared about. But now that he's not in the family anymore, it's like, it just doesn't feel the same to like have to put all that effort to bring people together the same way I used to. And then the other person is my brother. I still have a soft spot for, and my brother is the one in question that just didn't say thank you. And I am, so instead of like walking away from it, although I'm considering where this is going to be in the future, like, do I work on my family or do I still do these things? I am gonna have that talk with my brother about this, which I've never done. Like, it's crazy that I've just accepted this for what it was, because I know how my family is. So now I'm about to have that uncomfortable conversation with him that is going to make him feel like bad. He won't watch the stream. But so on my birthday, he bought 2 Taco Bell gift cards. He knows I love Taco Bell, or used to at least. When we were living together, I would always get Taco Bell. And so for him to buy Taco Bell gift cards on my birthday on my Amazon account and then use them for himself was bizarre.
That's wild. That's
And then
it's almost like a slap, you know, slap in the face.
But he doesn't understand it like that because he just didn't think about it. Like, he's just been so used to never giving me a present. He did say happy birthday that year, I think, which is weird. And then
do you think
he went and told me how good the Taco Bell was?
Oh my god. Do you think in his mind that was his way of celebrating your birthday?
No.
Because like
that.
Are you sure? Because like when I think about it, of like from like I try to understand his perspective, like I would like if I were him, I would be like, you know, oh, you know, it's her birthday. We usually have Taco Bell. Now I'm craving Taco Bell. I'm gonna go get some Taco Bell.
Could
you know?
imagine? And then he just forgot the birthday part.
Exactly. You know.
Like... No, I know it for a fact that's not it, because I would. Oh my god, this boar is acting like a real boar. He's like charging and then backing up and charging again.
Oh, creepy.
Anyways, so my family they're just selfish. So he's only thinking about himself to a point where I also think part of what I've done my whole life was condition people to just take and take and take and never give.
Yeah.
Like my ex, for example, like he just shamelessly took, not giving. Even when he started making money and having a job, he just didn't, because it wasn't a normal thing for him. It's like you're training someone to act this way around you. So my brother sees me as like the senior, like I'm the adult in the family, because I am the closest thing he has to a parent figure, honestly. So when you go out for dinner with your family, your parents specifically, you kind of expect them to pay for dinner. And I think that's what he thinks about just everything. Financially, he knows I've always made more money than him. I'm pretty okay. So that could be a factor. But my mom has always been the type to pay for meals when I go out with her. This is the first time I'm like, hold up, how come I haven't paid for a meal? How come I haven't treated her to something? You know? So at the time, we spent most time, I think, like, so I stopped talking to her in 2020. I was not in a mindset to be an adult when she was in the room. And that is the exact same thing that I think my brother feels. He just doesn't think about it.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because my mom, like, not like she was there for me or like a great person, but I could have been an adult and treat her or like split the bill or get her a present that makes her feel like taken care of, extravagant, you know? I feel like I never put thought into the gifts I gave her or the fact that I needed to because my relationship wasn't the greatest with her. So now that I ended up visiting her like twice so far after telling her I was pregnant. And this last time, I don't know, just thinking about the fact that I never got her a meal. I bought her a meal. I got her this really nice skincare set that was like $130 because I saw that she wasn't taking care of her skin the same way she used to. Like she had just samples that she was using. I got her a nice set. I got her a pair of shoes. I just went like all out spoiling her this last time, knowing that she's going to move away and like this might be it for us, like for a long time. I just felt like I had to do something like that.
Was this more like for your own, like, you know, establishing that you've done that and that you've...
No, not quite, because honestly, I know she's done a lot for me, even though her like intent was different. Like, well, honestly, she's not really a warm person, and she doesn't communicate things like she like love, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's hard for her. But I know she's done so much. Like every time we went out, she made sure we had the best food, and she didn't skimp on anything. We spent like hundreds of dollars for the meals. Like she did a lot. And so thinking about like the perspective I have now, I'm about to be a mom. I feel like my mentality suddenly shifted, and I can now see like I should have done more for her because I had a job and I'm also an adult. She shouldn't have covered all those bills, like the meals that she paid for. 100% of the time when we hung out. No wonder she didn't want to hang out so much. You know? So just coming to that realization made me feel like I owed her.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate she's moving away, so I probably only see her one more time. So, yeah, I don't know.
I get it though, because like, you know, it's almost as if you're, you know, you're saying to your mom's like, yeah, I'm an adult. You can, you know, see me as one. You can respect me. You can.
She definitely sees a huge change in me, and I see it in myself too.
Yeah.
Also, around the time with my ex, he was the same way, and every time I was around him and his parents, it was almost... At first, I felt uncomfortable. He would say, let them pay for it. They're the adults. I'm an adult. You're an adult. What the fuck are you saying?
Yeah.
And I just accepted that, and they would pay for everything when we were out together with them. And I think that mentality also contributed to this. Like, I always felt like a kid anyways in my 20s up until 30, and now I feel like an adult, but at 29 I felt like
funny.
a kid.
It's funny because like almost everyone like feels like an adult initially when they're like early 20s, even like 25, and then like into late 20s. But when you like, there's a certain point where you reach and you're just like, oh, actually now I'm an adult. But like the reality is like,
hello, you've been grown.
Yeah, you've been grown. It's just like that there's always gonna be things you're gonna learn and grow upon, and it's just every period of your life is gonna be like that, and you're still always gonna be a kid, you know, like to some degree. You're always gonna be a child at heart to some degree.
But you need to know when to step up and be that role that you need to be in different scenarios, which it's so insane how perspective just can change your fucking life.
Yeah.
Like that perspective made me be like, wait, why was I acting like a kid around my mom when I'm an adult this whole time? Why didn't I do that? So I understand why my brother does what he does.
But at the same
because
time, your mom was maybe not necessarily treating you like an adult either. So you were also incentivized
I
to.
was being babied. I was being
Yeah,
spoiled.
exactly.
But
And like from my perspective, my mom always treated me like an adult. So whenever I started making money and stuff like that, like even when I was younger, I tried to buy her stuff. Like there was one time I saved my allowance for like, I don't know, many weeks, and I saved up like $100, and I bought her this really expensive gold necklace, and just because I wanted to, like I wanted to treat her well, but I was like, I don't know, like 8 or something, like 8 or 10. I had to go in and like ask my dad to like help me buy it because like I couldn't buy something like that as a kid, So, um, but my mom, like, she like really appreciated it and thought it was really sweet. And when I got older, uh, whenever I started making money on my own, like I didn't hesitate to offer to buy my mom's food when we went out or to do things like that. I didn't initially start giving her like Christmas gifts or anything because like we kind of just stopped doing Christmas gifts in general when I moved away. Like to a serious degree, like she still would sometimes ask me like, what do you want for Christmas or whatever. Well, she actually mostly always does, but like I didn't take it seriously, so I guess my perspective changed on it, less so hers. And I just said, just something small, just like nothing, you don't have to give me anything big. But she always insisted on doing it. And like I would do it some years and some years I didn't. But like whenever I spend time with my mom, I still always make it a point to treat her and to make her feel, that I care about her in a lot of ways. And even when I go to her home and visit, I do things that I would do in my own home. I make sure that I clean everything that I use, that I don't leave, things dirty, or that I help out whenever dinner's being made, like that I, do whatever I can, even if it's just cleaning up dishes or whatever it is, like I don't wait to be asked to do those things. I just do it.
yeah, one thing, people that can take initiative on things is great. I love that. I also think that your mom raised you in a way where you could see it like that.
Yeah, she did. And that's what I mean. Like she treated
Yeah.
me like an equal. She treated me like an adult from when I was a child. And so like that was the mindset that I, just grew into as I got older. And, that's why I do those things, is because I don't just see her as a provider. I see her as an equal, as
Yeah.
she's always seen me as an equal. And when I look at people as equals, I look at what their experience is, what their perspective is, what they're going through. And especially having done those things myself, like going through, the rigor of, cooking dinner and cleaning and cleaning up my place and like having my own place and doing all these things and trying to make money and all, like it was just inherently obvious to contribute.
You said something about perspective, like understanding your parents' perspective and what they're going through.
Yeah.
Is something I never considered in my own family. Like my dad, when he was here recently, I'm like, you know what? I've never tried to see how he lived his life up until now. Like, who was he? Because he's just your dad. But then he's had a whole life before you.
Yeah.
Before kids became a thing.
Right.
And
Right.
like that is crazy to me. Who the fuck is this? Like, I think that's normal for a lot of people, but
Yeah.
now it makes me think, as someone who's about to be a mom, I want my kid to understand what I go through and to be curious.
Yeah.
But
of course.
how do you make that a thing?
Well, I mean, like treating your kid as an equal is a great start. I think that the other part is like being willing to be vulnerable. I think that's
One of your kid, yeah.
yeah, to be
Which
vulnerable in front
I
of
have
your
never
kid.
had an issue with that.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have any
overshare
issues.
a lot, but
Yeah. So like
I don't know.
the only thing you do have to consider is like you don't want your kid to grow up too fast either. And like if you do share everything at a very early age, they're probably going to grow up pretty quick in the sense that they feel responsible to do that, to
I
be
don't want
there
them to
for
feel-
you.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen necessarily, but I don't want to do what I've done like in my last relationship or with my brother. I notice like I tend to take people under my wing,
Yeah.
and then they feel like they can't take initiative, they can't make their own decisions, they don't see a need to treat me or to return the favor because I'm so headstrong. I seem to have it all going on well, that they feel like there's no room for them to contribute. So I think that's part of what it is. And I know it's not that my brother, well, also he hasn't learned how to show gratitude or appreciation. When I first started like stepping out into the world, which he hasn't really done yet, I had to learn things like how to say thank you, because no one taught me how to say thank you to people, which is crazy. Like, hey, how are you? Like, I never had to like care about how, like, to ask those things about other people. So I had to like go out there and learn how to listen and understand people and like communicate in a healthy way.
Yeah.
So I know he's very stunted in those categories. Plus how I've kind of like established myself to be like the parent it just feels like he expects the gift every year. Imagine the day I don't give that gift. Like, how shocking would that be?
Yeah, of
The world
course.
crumbling.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I mean, like, that's part of it too. Like, you know, he is in a way, you know, not intentionally self-absorbed, but self-absorbed in his own life. You know,
Right.
because that's all he's
Which is-
known, and
a
that's
lot
all.
of people do that.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Especially when you're not connected to people normally on a daily basis. He's so isolated because he lives at home with mostly online. We talk like once a month or twice a month sometimes. The only person he interacts with is my dad. Like, there's so many reasons. I understand it very well, and he's not someone I can like walk away from. But he is someone that I will start to explain and show him the human side of me, not the side of me that can do everything, that's perfect, that has everything figured out. I'll explain to him that hurts my feelings and it doesn't motivate me to give him gifts in the future. And I need some reciprocation in this type of thing. But, you know, I also want to know about his life and the progress he's making and what he's thinking about from time to time, and not just like talk about things when it's not great.
Yeah.
So these conversations, uncomfortable, never happened before, but will start to happen because of like my priorities shifted and suddenly I'm not okay with these things anymore.
And I think that's important too, because like just by the way of you asking these questions, it's going to start to initiate the right trains of thought within him, and also the like to be comfortable answering those questions and thinking about, you know, the answers to the questions that you're asking. So being vulnerable, you know, like that's not going to be inherently easy, I would imagine. So even if he doesn't have an answer, like you can still ask the questions, and that will, regardless of like what he says, probably get some gears turning in his head, you know? So
yeah. So he is definitely the type to shut down immediately, but then follow up with his response. Like, and he won't ignore it, like, which is nice. But I do know he will apply this to other areas too. Like, it's not just me. He's gonna realize that maybe this applies to other people he's with, like his friends maybe.
yeah.
I used to be the type that would just educate him and teach him and guide him, but after my last relationship, I kind of just stopped everything. I stopped overly, like, I stopped spreading myself thin with people who don't reciprocate or appreciate that or want to make that change within themselves.
Yeah.
When he and I told him that when he visited too. I'm like, if you actively show me that you're willing to make a change, I would invest in you. I will invest my time, my effort, my energy to make sure that you have a stronger support system. And even if that means financially too, I don't mind it. But he's been showing me that he's not motivated to make any changes. And then I told him, you know, I'm not in a space where I can do that for you or anyone in our family anymore. So I have had that conversation just differently. But when he went home after the funeral, or the, you know, whatever that was, I thought he was just going to go back to his old ways and not do any of the changes that I've asked him or that we talked about while he was here. Turns out he was actually actively working on it. So yesterday I had a talk with him and was pleasantly surprised by the progress he made. Like, he has a job lined up.
Okay.
So one of his things is he wants to start streaming on Twitch, but that used to be the thing that held him from getting that job because he felt like he had to make it big on Twitch, you know. But
Right.
he will manage to still make progress there. Like, he's got the sub button now, and still prioritize working, like lining up a job. He also went to go get his license, so now he's got the permit. He passed the test, and he's actively learning how to drive, which has always been a big fear of his and my sister, because she doesn't know how to drive either. And I had no hope that any of these things would be done. No job, no car, but he's actually doing them. And I haven't talked to him. This is all like his own motivation.
That's great.
It was very nice to hear. So I journaled that. And then I'm like, in the journal entry, I'm like, this would be so good, so rewarding to look back on in like a year from now and see that that was just a small step to all the big changes that he will be making throughout the year.
I mean, here's the thing to keep in mind is like it feels good to have your to have like an association with someone's progress and someone's growth and to be emotionally invested in it. But at the end of the day, like, it's important to remember that their motivation is their own and their decision making is their own. And all you can do is be the support that is there to encourage and to help answer questions that they may have, and to help them ask the right questions for themselves.
So through trial and error, especially in my 20s, it was almost like I think the reason I wasn't able to see that I could be an adult for my mom is because I was stepping up so much for my relationship and my brother at the time and my sister, who I tried so hard to make them want the change and to like guide them and teach them.
Yeah.
In my late 20s, I realized, like, I think when I was 27 or 28, I withdrew myself and my efforts because it wasn't helping. It was most likely just enabling them to continue feeling the way that they are and doing what they do. And from there, I've really learned how to guide people in ways where I'm not influencing them. I'm just kind of guiding and suggesting. And if they don't put the effort or the energy and they're not interested in that change, I won't put any energy myself. So I've been actively doing that since I was like 28. But I reminded my brother I can continue to invest and put effort into helping you only if you're actively interested. And I kind of put it into perspective where his life is heading, and I outlined it for him. He's literally following my dad's footsteps, and he doesn't really respect my dad. So I'm like, this is your path in life if you continue to live the way that you live. And honestly, I've gone through the disappointment many times to know now I'm not disappointed. Like, let's say in a year from now, I look at that entry. It's a perspective thing for me. I can either be really proud or really disappointed when I look back on that entry a year from now. But I'm not going to let it, like, I know this disappointment. It's so normal. It's almost expected, honestly. So for him to succeed and continue and do well is like the new norm. Like, I would be shocked. But I'm not invested in a way where this impacts my life negatively. I just wish him the best, and I know I have all the skills and the tool sets to help him. But I've learned how to help people in ways that are beneficial to them and not harmful to me, which is so good. And I think that's going to be really helpful for me when I raise a kid too.
Yeah. I think that's great. And it's definitely important to learn that lesson, especially, you know, prior to having kids. I think it's definitely important. I think there's still always going to be things that you learn along the way, especially as you have a kid. Like, you're gonna realize there's other ways that, like, you can be there and support and help that are not what you expected, you know. And your expectations going into it are gonna change as the realization hits, but that's just part of it. That's part of mentoring. That's part of teaching. That's part of, you know, helping a child grow. Like, it's all things you'll experience.
Experiences trying to be that mentor for a coworker,
Mm-hmm.
and I still am the one that like teaches him things and stuff, trains him. But learning how to do that well and successfully without getting your emotions involved
It's hard.
is interesting, and
Yeah.
I feel like I've done a really good job in like figuring that out without overstepping and forcing a specific outcome, because it's not my life, it's theirs.
Exactly. And that's something that's important to remember going into, especially with a child, because it's very easy to be emotionally invested. And then you add the fact that it's your child, like, even more so, right? So, like,
Right.
yeah, it'll be a difficult thing to navigate, but you'll figure it out.
And I also like having them like do the hard work themselves. I think that builds a good character
Mm-hmm.
in people. So yeah, life is interesting though. You know, lots to work on, new perspective.
Yeah. I'm excited for you and happy for you. And glad to hear about all the changes that have happened for you and for people close to you. And it'll be fun to look back one day.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I should head to bed. It's way
Very
past.
late.
Yeah, it's way past the time that I intended
And
to
Rob
head to
just
bed.
got here.
Huh?
Rob just got home also, like right now.
Great. Perfect timing then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Thanks for
night.
chatting, and have a good rest of your night.
Good night.
Bye.